Hello everybody and welcome back to another beautiful night here at SNN. With the Chernarus vice presidential elections just 2 more days away, we are ecstatic to be joined by Mrs. Chairman of the Conservative Women's Party, Emma Sterling. To begin, what were your reasons for the creation of the Conservative Women's Party in Chernarus? And why is the party important?
Well, there isn't really one exact reason for the founding of it. However, one main reason, which just so happens to also be why it's so important, is that it is an inspiration to women everywhere. Regardless if the CWP is successful or not, it proves conservative women do in fact, really exist. Far too long have men hating progressive women taken the spotlight. Conservative women need to rise up.
And what about your opposition, such as Ayatollah Khomeini, chairman of the Islamic Union of Chernarus, or Chernarus Party for Democracy, spearheaded by 123 Aussie? What's your message for them?
Well, that's a big question there, Hank. For starters, I want to openly put out there that Chernarus, and to get specific, the CWP, must not stand for radical Muslims at any cost. Leaders such as Ayatollah Khomeini are radical imperialists, who, as stated, have their main goal is to quote-unquote create a supreme leader. Changes like this are threats to our eternal democracy, and must be eradicated at all costs. However, as for Aussie and the Chernarus Party for Democracy, it is a different story, while they are also a conservative party. Myself, and I'm sure a majority of the populace, haven't seen Aussie active enough. And I think if you want a strong vice president, that person needs to be an active and available part of the community, and that's why it all boils down to me as the best pick.
Finally, Mrs. Vice Presidential Candidate Emma Sterling, how confident are you with a victory in the first vice presidential elections?
I want to say I'm pretty enthusiastic. I can't say I'm not more excited, as right now the Conservative Women's Party takes up 2 seats alone in the National Assembly. Nonetheless, we more than double our leading opposition, of which is all tied. We are the single biggest party in Chernarus, and I am expecting a swift and concise landslide in the upcoming election. It was an honor to be here, Mr. Anchorman. I hope to reconvene with you soon once we win the election.
Surely an interesting interview. I don't think it will be the last we hear of her. But before you click off, I want to urge everybody to head to the polls. Down below, click on a link to a Google form where you can poll on who you expect to be voting on in the upcoming vice presidential elections. Furthermore, if any other candidates in Chernarus want to reach out for an interview like Mrs. Sterling did, please join the SNN server and contact CEO Steele, and one can be arranged with you shortly. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Hank Anchorman, and I will see you all tomorrow on SNN, where the truth meets media.